Hello. This is Lady Renee Thomas James, and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? How has it been so far? Let's get into it because I'm pretty eager to get into this conversation. As you can tell, this will be a conversational video, so feel free to drop your comments below, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, and if you have already subscribed, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Okay, and if this is your first time, welcome, darling. Thank you. So I'm wanting to talk about women empowerment today. So we are now in April. This video was shot on the 2nd of April, and I will be uploading it the Wednesday afterwards. Note to self, Renee, now you have to do it. And we are just coming out of Women's International Month, which is March. Now in March, and yes, I'm going to touch on the Derrick Jaxn thing, more particularly his wife. Now in March, the whole scandal broke out about Derrick Jaxn. If you don't know who he is, it's official, you're living under a rock, because he is quite popular on all social medias, and I think throughout or across his social media platforms, I think he is probably over 2-3 million in terms of following. If he's not over 3 million, he is just about 3 million. On Instagram alone, the last time I checked, he was over 1 million. On YouTube, he was almost at 1 million. And then between Twitter and Facebook, he should be over 1 million. Now, with that being said, he is quote unquote, and I don't deem anybody a relationship guru, because everybody's relationship is different, and you should act according to how your relationship is going and not what someone else is telling you. So that first off is BS. I like his advice though, if you're going to take it from the, a generalized perspective. But as we know, people in general go deep. Well, Derrick Jaxn says this, and this is how it's supposed to be, to the point of there was a meme a few years ago saying, if this N person nigga, if your girl is watching this nigga, she is gonna leave you. I'm like, really? It was funny, but I took it a little bit deep, because why would I leave my person based on what he says? Fast forward though, I have never seen his wife prior to the scandal. Never. He has never been in a video with his wife, photos, nothing. I remember as well a few years ago, he even said, my partner chooses not to be on camera or chooses not to be in the public. Okay, I can respect that as someone who also has a partner who, shies away heavily from any form of public attention or even the camera. So I could get that. I understood that. Now, when the scandal came about, he addressed the public with his wife, which is what I thought was the first mistake that he did. I don't think his wife should have been in that video at all, be it she wanted to or not, because he is the one who has been at the forefront of the videos, and he knows how brutal the internet can be. Like, in these internet streets, it can be brutal. Like, I am subjecting myself to constructive and the worst, both constructive and the worst criticism when I put my videos out there. But it means that I already have the mentality to not even mental capacity, but the mentality to say, you know what, this could go sideways, and I'm going to have to take the blunt of if it goes sideways and people come at me. I've already put myself in that mental state, not capacity. State. Capacity is when it actually happens and you see, well, wait a minute, I was not ready for this, right? So let's go back to his wife. Now, I would not have subjected my partner to that, having most of us never seen her, just heard of her. Now, what I found to be very interesting was how women in particular dragged that woman who was in her home and her attire. Now, quite frankly, all Imavan was a simple t-shirt. T-shirt and jeans, whatever, t-shirt, slacks, t-shirt, jeans, whatever. All we saw was a simple t-shirt. Yes, he's always clean shaven, whatever the case is. Now this girl came on with, it wasn't a bonnet, it was a headwear. I think in Jamaica we would call it a tam or a beret, whatever the case is. But I thought she was cute. The only thing I saw on her was that her skin was hella beautiful, darling. She was a beautiful person. But the media has taught us to see more than a person's beauty. Media has subjected our mind to see everything else instead of seeing the person. I saw someone who was hurt. I saw someone who was broken, but with beautiful skin. Call me weird. Call me weird. That's what I saw. Broken, hurt, with gorgeous skin. No, I was surprised at how many women could drag her. Why did she come on camera like that? That's why he's cheating. That's why he went out and had other women. Look at those other women comparing to her. And that's why he went out there, because other women are banging and blinging. And, you know, it was just, you know, from zero, it went 0 to 100 real quick on her appearance, which again, I thought she was in the comfort of her own home and she was dressed accordingly to just being at home. Another thing I thought, I'm like, how many women criticizing her and probably not as dressed as her as she was in the video while they were criticizing her? How many women? Why do we have to take it there as women? I am not going to subject myself to say what I should look like because I am sitting beside any given man, because of what the public thinks that I should look like. Look here, me look like what me look like. I look like what I look like. And how could she look like that beside him? She was a gorgeous, she is a gorgeous person. Her skin though, her skin is gorgeous. And when we look at the media and how the media is dragging someone who is hurting on camera, yes, in the public, yes, and we're like, you know what? Her husband just cheated on her with, you know, and came forward to say it, being he's a narcissist as well, because, you know, it took me a while to see the narcissistic behaviors in the video, because I'm not pay that much attention to Derrick, quite frankly. I listen to his words, but I don't pay so much attention to his, you know, mannerisms, because I don't read that deep into anybody. People are people. People will mess up. People will lead you astray. People will do you wrong. People will lie to you blatantly. The Bible says you see a man's face, but you don't see him heart. So I didn't even take that much, you know, him into consideration much. But I looked at it and I said, people were willing to watch him talk about how he cheated on his wife, you know, multiple times. Listen to that. Watch her hurt on camera and still drag her through the dirt, through the mud, because of how she looked in the comfort of her own home with beautiful skin. That's women empowerment for you. That is how we empower each other. That's how we uplift each other. And if I may go even further to saying, it's a Black community. I don't remember, maybe it could be my algorithms or, you know, what I'm seeing on my feed. I don't remember seeing the majority of these women being white. The majority of these women were Black, dragging another Black woman through the mud because she had beautiful skin in the comfort of her own home, wearing a beret to come on camera. The social media has so tainted our mind and our mental state as to what a person should look like in their home. You see, social media lies to you on a daily basis, so you are misled. You're misled and you're not misunderstood, you misunderstand. What you see on social media, on camera, is what people want you to see. I got dressed for this darn video. because I'm doing a few more videos today as well. This is what I want you to see. Before this, I had no makeup on. I was in pajamas up until 2:30 p.m. Right now it's what? Sometime after 5. And then I got dressed to do this video. So do not be dismayed, I would say. Don't misunderstand when you see people coming before camera who get dressed for the camera, and that girl who is with children, who is hurting, and we chose as women to drag her through the dirt with gorgeous skin because she was wearing a beret. And talking about it, a bonnet. That was no bonnet. That was not a bonnet. That was a beret of some kind. And I thought it was cute. All him have on was a t-shirt. She was wearing a simple black top and a black beret. And we dragged that woman through the dirt. Let me tell you something. You say about women empowerment and these women empowerment brunches and lunches, which of course I do like some of them. Even then you see how we separate ourselves. Oh, VIP, semi-VIP, and everybody else, regulars. And while I you know, you're encouraged to buy VIP tickets because, you know, you sit among, you know, the creme de la creme, I would rather, because all it is it's money making, I'd rather pay $250 less, $500 less to sit with quote-unquote regular people who I'm able to communicate with, make connections with, rather than sit among creme de la creme who they sit up and look down at you and they're like, this is women empowerment brunches and lunches for you, or events for you, and they are mentally and emotionally even unable to connect, make genuine connections, because what is creme de la creme for the most part, not in every case, but for the most part. What message are we sending to each other, our community as women, black, white, and everything else in between? What message are we sending? What meaningful connections are you making with another woman? How are you empowering another woman? That girl is beautiful. Her skin is gorgeous. I saw hurt. I saw a mom and wife who was broken. I saw someone who still needs to find herself as an individual. And that is easy to lose in marriage or even in any relationship. Worse when you have kids in play. That is easy to lose. I saw somebody who needed to find back that person and is trying to do so to center herself in Christ. Trying. Because none of us is perfect. Let us seek to uplift somebody. And if we should be honest, somebody that I feel look them best today for us to say, you know what, you're looking beautiful. Find something positive to say. Find something positive to say. I remember when I just had my first child 19 years ago. 19 plus years ago, actually. Because she's almost, yes, 19 years ago. February gone, yeah. And I felt my worst. I looked my worst. I just had a baby. And somebody's like, you look gorgeous. I don't believe it was true. And I'm like, really? And he said, yes, it was my uncle. He said, no, you look good. You look good. And you know what I did? I made sure every day after that to look my best just because of a compliment. It was all about the baby. It was all about ensuring that the baby was, you know, feeding properly, you know, clean, not miserable, you know, doing the best that I can do as a mom, the best and beyond as a mom. I neglected myself for a while, and somebody's like, no, you look good. And I'm like, really? And then I started, you know, paying a little bit more attention to myself. The power of your words. Find something to compliment. Find some way to uplift another woman. Find something to, oh my God, you're cute. Your skin is glowing. I love that lip color that you have on today. Your eyebrows, you know, look nice. What books are you reading today? Let's read it together. Let's see what we can both get from a book. Send a scripture tomorrow morning. Send an encouraging word. Rather than to drag somebody through the mud because they were wearing a headpiece. a beret. That when I saw that, you know, those memes in the media, I'm like, as if this woman isn't going through enough. Her community, her black community, is choosing to drag her some more. No, forget that her husband cheated. Forget that. Let's just drag her some more. She isn't hurting enough. Let's just do more damage to her already obvious mental and emotional damage. Let's just add some more, shall we? In Women's International Month. I hope somebody sees this and just takes it that we can do so much more for our community as women. We can do so much more as it relates to uplift and encourage. We can do so much more to pass on a more positive message. We can do so much more to help a woman to move from point A to point B in her hardest time. We can do so much more. Put it on your to-do list tomorrow. Encourage one woman. Send one. I'm not asking you for two. One. Send one woman tomorrow an encouraging message, an uplifting message, a meme that will make her smile, a video that will make her smile. Tell her, sis, I love you. I see you. I love you. You are doing an amazing job as a wife, a mother, a woman, an individual. You are doing an amazing job. Send that message. This drag mentality, this dragging mentality, get rid of it. Tell the devil to leave you alone. I have the saying, tell the devil to leave you alone. Devil, leave me alone, huh? Leave me alone. This drag mentality, leave it alone. Uplift, encourage, push forward. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Have a beautiful rest of the day. I really hope this message, you know, helps somebody. I really do hope so. And let us change the narrative about this woman. She's a beautiful girl with gorgeous skin. I've said that enough. And let's see her pain and her hurt. And what if we used all that negativity to say uplift her, sis? And nobody don't need to tell her to leave her man. Nobody don't need to tell her that. She'll get there when she gets there. Hopefully it's sooner than later, but she'll get there when she gets there. Forcing somebody to leave their husband or their partner, it doesn't work like that. They have to leave of themselves mentally, emotionally, physically. They have to see the reason to leave. It's not easy for everybody. Some of us have a leave mentality to say bye, while some people, they have to warm up to it. I'm going to tell you this before I leave. I think it was probably 10 years ago. I know a woman who didn't leave her husband. He was just probably one of the worst husbands ever. Emotionally abusive, made her feel like nothing, and cheated on her as well, had a child out of wedlock. And everybody was like, why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? And when she left, maybe she was married for maybe 13 years and had, she said, maybe 12 and a half years of a bad marriage. And she said to me, Serene, when she finally left, and he didn't want to pay child support for his child either, and even though he lived on her throughout the marriage, she said, Renee, everybody said, why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? And she said, Renee, I could not leave knowing that he would not have managed without me. I had to allow him to leave on his own, because I would be the one that wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that I put out my child's father to fend for himself when he couldn't even do that. And I said to myself, even though I was thinking that, you know, why shouldn't I leave? I said to myself, this is why you leave people alone. In some cases, in most cases. That was what she said. I couldn't. How was he supposed to fend for himself? Surely he couldn't give two rats ass about her. but she was considering him. And for her, she would not have been able to sleep knowing that, I mean, in her head, he can fend for himself. Some of us would be like, well, he's a grown man. He would have to figure it out. But we are not all the same up here. We think differently. We operate differently. And we have to allow people to process in the way that they process. With that being said, feel free to give this a like. Comment below your thoughts. Thank you for watching. This is Lady Renee Thomas James. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit that button. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.